Welcome everyone to yet another wild and wonderful world of Cataclysm. In today's adventure, we are going to discuss the finer things in life, such as ostracization and being exiled from your community and being put on trial for being different, and the fact that I couldn't find any Clonn tokens, so everyone looks the same in this particular village, but we're going to pay no mind to that. Now, before we get into the thick of the situation, there is a particular scene I want to draw to the attention of our compatriots. Skulking near the edge of town, we find Ponike. Ponike, are you here with me right now, Ponike?
Yeah, I'm all beat to shit from the fighting a dragon accidentally, and so
Didn't even
she
do it
is.
on purpose.
So she is. She's. God, yeah, she's like nursing her wounds.
Give me a
She's
perception
probably
check.
she's probably like preening herself like a bird would do.
Give me a perception check. It's unmistakable, but the air around you has taken on a certain chilly quality, which is strange. You're in the middle of the jungle. It's summer. It's hot, but you can feel crystals forming in the air. Now give me another perception check. Yes, give me another perception check. Through the faint frost that's forming on the jungle trees, the leaves withering away, and the chill in the air, you see behind you a tall figure, cloaked, draped in fine leather and a cloak rimmed with fur, a hood over its face. You can see only its hands, or, to be more accurate, paws. The fur is white, with dark spots of blackened fur interspersed every so often. The creature pulls down its hood, a strange off-white, its face like that of a leopard, its whiskers twitch. Hello, Ponike. It's a pleasure to see you. How are you? Doing well, I hope.
Oh, Oracle, it's been a been a few minutes since we last saw each other.
Ah, yes. As she says that, she brings her paws to the front of her chest and coils them in a faint gesture, almost like prayer. She begins to tap her little talons amongst one another, and you hear the faint, distinctive clack. What brings you here all alone? I don't
Oh,
like to see you cry. You can see her extend a faint claw, almost in an attempt to wipe tears off of your face. How do you react?
she'll kind of like lean back. She was like sitting on a stump, so she'll just kind of like lean back in her seat and be very. She doesn't like people touching her, especially people who, she used to hang out with and no longer hang out with for one reason or another.
I smell fear on you, Ponike, again. What have you
Well,
done?
you heard what the sisters did to me all those years ago.
Hmm. She looks at you, takes a deep breath. But this is something new. She sits on the ground, unfurls her cloak, and holds an orb in her hand. You know, you're haunted by your past. There's a place with me, where you can come, where you will not have to fear about your actions. A place of support. A place where you'll be embraced as what you are, were, and will be. Wouldn't you like to join me, Ponike, in such a blessed place?
kind of looks over at Clonton. You know, through the bushes, she can just see her friends. You know, she'll look down back at the Oracle and go, will my friends be able to join us?
No. They're not the ones that are going to give you sanctuary. They make you feel afraid. They make you regret. I can't give you that warmth with their chilly presence around now, can I, Pony?
Well, I mean, my friends and I kind of have an idea for getting our own sanctuary eventually. You know what? Suffered for almost 4,000 years. I can suffer for another just to get that.
Huh? She reaches into her pocket and pulls out another sphere. Faint blue, pale, almost clear, but the faintest hue of calming blue. You can tell it's cold. Frost forms around the exterior of the sphere as soon as she takes it out of her pocket. She drops it on the ground. I'll leave these here for when you change your mind. I tire of loneliness, don't you? Her form is obscured by a flurry of snowflakes that linger unusually in the heat of the jungle. And as the heat bears down upon you, and the cool evaporates, and you are left with your thoughts, you hear a scream pierce through the jungle, coming from elsewhere.
Ponike will quickly grab like a cloth or like a piece of canvas or something and use that to pick up the two orbs and kind of just make like a makeshift sack and just kind of tie them up real quick as she's walking into town, as she's kind of like briskly moving into town. She's not thinking about the fact that she looks like how she normally looks with the white hair and, you know, looking beat to shit. And she just immediately begins like briskly walking towards the center of town.
And this is now where we are going to meet the rest of our compatriots. I believe we have Silas having their illusion drop, and the rest of the Clonns have seen their true form. There's a muttering in the crowd, a rancor, a ripple, a disturbance that kind of courses through the social milieu. It's like, oh, those legs, oh, that fur, oh, despicable, foul. You start hearing a litany of jeers and cheers running through the crowd. Halmet, Halmet, the elders must see this. Of course, the elders. As the Clonns begin to rise up and they start moving to the north of town, a large dilapidated temple with a very pretty little banner on the front which says Elsewhere Hall. Do we follow suit?
Yeah.
I'm sure I'm sure that decision is made for him.
Bear with me one moment. You enter into the Hallmet, which is the scene you see before you. There is a large congregation of Clonns, roughly about 120 of them, and at the front of this enormous meeting, does anyone want to give me a perception check?
I will. Eventually. Shit. Okay. Oh, doubles! Whoa, okay.
Jesus Christ. Fucking Milo.
Fucking Milo.
Fucking Milo and his peepers.
Ugh.
Damn, I rolled pretty good.
He just went to the eye doctor.
He is the eye doctor.
I
He is the eye
am
doctor.
the optometrist. Anyway,
Eh,
before you, you see 3 very particularly well-defined Clonns. One of them seems to have his hands and feet covered in a kind of strange blackened makeup. If you have any recollection, you may recall this from a story Silas told in the past, that this particular Clonn is a Gallo worshipper. And there are 2 others. Silas, you are welcome to describe Dolly, and then I will move on to the one I made, and then we will leave our mysterious mirror guest for me to describe. Go ahead, Silas.
Alright, so, maybe in the middle, I'm not sure where she'd stand, is a 5'4" Clonnish gal. She's got sky blue hair, just smiling pink cheeks, a red little cherry nose, and red lips. Her hair is done up in buns, and she has a little white hat pinned to the top of her head, and it reminds you of a nurse's cap, which is suitable because she is dressed almost exactly like an old World War I nurse. The only difference is, instead of a red cross on her chest, she has the symbol of the Clonnish goddess Our Lady of Feeling, which is a big red ball, and then a semicircle of 6 smaller balls floating atop it. And she does not look very happy to be there.
And there are 2 others. You see another one, a Clonn, tall, thin, probably a good 6 feet. She's dressed in a very pale blue. You can see her kind of dabbing upon her eyes with a handkerchief, tears streaming down her face, ruining makeup that she seems to be applying as she cries. She stifles her tears for a brief moment and then stands, along with the other Gallo worshipper and Dolly. And then there seemingly is a 4th guest, present in a mirror, but no image is appearing before you. Bear with me one moment.
Ah, shit. Somebody fix the Zoom call.
Can you hear me? Hello?
Turn
Hello?
Turn your camera on. Judge, I'm not a cat.
Goddamn cheap gnomish mirrors. The tallest one, the Gallo worshipper, has strangely uniform for a Clonn, well built, his hands and face covered in what seems to be tar, cosmetic or not, and the man gives off faint grimaces as he speaks. Alright, everyone. Just gonna read off the minutes from last time before we get into present business. We were naming the town, reached the conclusion that it's elsewhere. Really solid choice, gotta commend everyone. There's like faint golf clapping. Let me see, we got the minutes here. Hey, you can't leave? Why are you leaving? The meeting is still in session. Hey, you gotta come back. What are you talking about, a voice? Yada yada yada, this goes on for a while. Lost a lot of people that day. Lost a lot of people. Alright. I remember we were talking about reading off some of the names. We lost about 40 people that day. It's a lot of people. There's not a lot of us. So I'm going to read them off one by one. And then we'll get to the present business. Alright? Alright. You see the guy take out a little scroll. It's got a kind of tidy posture to it. And he begins to read. We honor the memory and the name of those departed. Clara keeps on. Jumbo dwarfs Connerberry. Pia finds beauty. Blythe and Bonnie. Bonnie and Blythe. Tadeo so dashing. Caroline be quiet. Beamish the frabjous. Cherry the cheek. Honey and buns. Knick-knack on one knee. Reba the ribbon. Willow without wind. Chataruza makes matches. Gianna shields Avatar. Guido so charitable. Miko the mild. Pipey they'll cheer. Baffles the mind. Chacabella and King's graces. I'm desperately trying not to break character. Fiddlesticks in shambles. Seamus seeks
Oh,
Janice.
the chuckle was in character.
Okay, good. Hayuk finds rocks. Griffin flees freely. Alistar holds knowledge. Bronco builds bulk. Castro deals damage. Candy has passion. Mandy gleans beauty. Ruckus the reckless. Dodie the darling. Maximilian clears tables. Goris ventures forward. Ernest smiles beautifully. Scipio sharpens blades. Ginny skips. Betty pierces skies. Zola breaks stone. Ian builds laws. Nimble sneaks around. He closes the scroll. Presses it momentarily to his chest. Takes a deep breath. Alright. I prepared a little speech here. I hope you all bear with me. I'm just gonna... I think we all need to hear this. You see, memory and faith are similar. When a person is gone, you have faith in their memory, and that which they were, and a memory that will continue. It's a kind of hope. Have faith in those that came before us. Remember their memories. The past. The past is a slippery thing. It'll try to wiggle from your grasp. Memories are even slippier, and memories of our loved ones the slipperiest of them all. Hold firm. Never loosen your grip. Faith keeps your hand strong. Now let us bow our heads and have faith in the memories of those that came before. And the man bows his head in a moment of silence. How does everyone react?
Silas will
Sil-
bow his head too.
Silas bows his head is also another very Clonn name.
Actually, yeah, that's pretty
Damn.
good.
When I heard Ian writes laws, I was like, is he gonna do one for all of us? Is it gonna be like Olivia builds sets, Stephen heals
Steven
children?
gets married.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
Steven.
Heals children.
That's pretty good, actually. I should have done that.
Andre writes songs.
All right. I'm going to start from the top just to get our reactions from the scene. Asger, how are you going to react to the present scene?
He's just paying silent reverence.
Buddy?
Buddy just takes a smoke, listens to everyone, and just asks he asks any of his kids if he knew any of them.
Your children give you a faint kind of nod, press their hands to their chest, and nod solemnly. Nebulshoy?
Nebulshoy, being almost at the edge of this council area, just sort of lowers his head, but at the last moment just sort of peeks with one open eye towards Asger and the others, just wondering what they're thinking, how they're reacting to all of this.
Milo kind of he's not really visibly reacting to much, but he's very interested in what this Clonn is saying about memory, and he kind of like is looking off into the distant. His mind is kind of elsewhere right now.
But
oh wow, yeah. No, his mind is not in elsewhere. It's somewhere other than elsewhere. Yeah.
Ponike just kind of, and Ponike just kind of looks around very awkwardly and just kind of like rubs the back of her neck. You know, she's like kind of swaying back and forth and like not really fully standing up. as she like holds her side with one hand and like rubs the back of her neck with her other.
I guess it's my go, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Silas, with every name read off of that list, Silas seems to sink lower and lower in his posture. Not by much, but enough. By the time the gallower starts his speech about memory and faith and how that can lend strength, he is fully bowing his head to the ground already. And as he's gotten so good at recently, he is crying, but it is very quiet, deep in the chest, puffing, sobbing, mournful weeping. And his shoulders bounce with every breath. And he stands there. He can't do much else. He can't even tell them he's sorry. It would get him killed. But he wants to tell them. And so, he cries.
The silence of this ruined temple to long-forgotten gods is punctuated only by sniffles and tears, the crinkling of handkerchiefs, and the quaking of breasts in mournful sorrow. It's allowed to pass naturally, quietly, like a river thawing in winter. Slow, a trickle, a torrent in due time. And before it becomes too overwhelming, the Gallo worshipper clears his throat. I suppose I should introduce myself. My name is Mercurio Brought Ecstasy. You can see him place his hands upon his chest. You can see the tar about his hands and legs. And he glances almost curiously over his shoulder to the volcano in a kind of homage to a prior act that haunts him to this day. And he returns his gaze forward to the congregation. Now, I don't like to lead these things in this particular situation. I'm a little bit milder in my old age. So, Dolly, if you don't mind, I think you can take on the next part of the meeting. And we will allow Seraphina, the woman who is crying, briefly removes her handkerchief and gives a faint twirl of it and a bow before sitting back down and returning to her tears and recompense. And of course the mirror, which a mirror at the front of the stage returns nothing, shows nothing, and seems to have no discernible manifestation, yet he looks at it as if someone is paying attention. Go ahead and take it away, Dolly. And he sits down.
Thank you, Mercurio. Well, here we are again. I know it doesn't need to be said that we shouldn't be meeting in such uncomfortable circumstances. I know. But even in times of great stress and turmoil, decisions need to be made. They can't be pushed aside. Especially not now. She looks to Silas. And she seems to think. Her eyebrow furrows, and her little doll face that she had seems to like almost mold like clay into a look of mildly bothered curiosity. As she stares though, something catches her eye or ear or thought, and her head turns suddenly to the mirror. Her brow softens, and she goes, "Oh, well, okay. It seems," and she'll turn to the party, "that it is not my place to pass on your sentence or punishment or whatever it is that will come to you. Instead, the mirror would like to speak with you. Later this evening, of course." And she'll look at the mirror, standing to the side, making sure it can't see her all the way, but she'll cast kind of like a glance at it. And then she'll face everyone else and just say, "Until then, stay chipper, and please, if you need anything, you know where to find me or Mercurio or Serafina or them. Meeting adjourned."
Serafina dots her face, rises a little bit. As you may know, our faith has brought us here, and I believe in due time the sorrow that slackens our souls will bring us closer to her. And she raises her hands in a gesture of embrace. Let us remember the names of those who came before, and remember those dearest to our hearts. Have faith in the thoughts of them, but most of all, remember their actions. She dries the sides of her eyes, and there's a faint hush amongst the Clonns that seems to last unnaturally long. Who wishes to break it?
"So, what about a mirror is gonna tell me if I can stay here or not? It's a mirror."
Darling, the mirror is the wisest of us all.
Are you saying the wisdom's within me, or?
It's not a metaphor. They just they don't like the sun. Something about their complexion, and they lost a cloak a very long time ago, and I don't know, they're strangely upset about it. And I'm obviously one for sorrow, but I don't get it. They usually only like to see guests after the sun sets. They have a carriage on the north side of town, but we're not to disturb them during the day. You're welcome to avail yourself of elsewhere and do as you see fit until the sun sets, and then you must go to the mirror and seek their counsel. They are the purest of us all. They have seen things beyond this plane and others. Oh, my word. Now,
So, you're Am I not gonna be skinned or drawn in court? Am I good?
The mirror
You're not
will
gonna
tell.
jump me, huh?
That is not mine. My choice to make, my dear sir. Now, I must continue my mourning. Our Lady, has brought upon me this sorrow, and I know that this task is mine to bear, and that through this pain I shall learn of something new, and I shall share it with my people. I must return. You can see Mercurio kind of gives Seraphina another handkerchief out of his pocket, give her a faint touch on the shoulder, but she rebukes it, and she walks off the stage into the jungle, her faint tears and sobs echoing through the late afternoon. All right, everyone. Meetings adjourned. You heard what was said. And remember, no ill will. The mirror is the one who reflects. I'll see you all tonight. And he gets off the stage.
Okay, I don't feel any better.
And Buddy wants to go up and like kind of check out this mirror because it sounds really weird that everybody's just basically just talking for it.
Bear with me one moment. Go ahead and give me Arcana, buddy. Bear with me one moment.
Okay, 23.
You reach the conclusion that the mirror is some kind of communication device. And normally what it does is a person sits in front of the mirror and it broadcasts their image so that they can see. You can tell that it's active and that it is broadcasting an image, but the image is not appearing in the mirror.
He's gonna try to flick the actual mirror and just look at it really funny because he understands that, but it's just who wouldn't want to show their own image inside of a helmet? Something's weird about this.
You see Mercurio brought Ecstasy exiting the stage, and you see him pause for a moment, kind of tickle his right ear a little bit with his right hand, give out a long sigh, go back onto the stage, and fumble around in a small little box near the stage and pull out a delicate silver hand mirror. He walks up to you, buddy, and says, "Here. The mirror said you should have this. When you feel it's appropriate to call, speak into the mirror, and the mirror will answer. But only do when you feel it is appropriate." Oh my fucking god! You learn
What
nothing.
happened? Ooh.
Ponike rolled double that once on insight. What were you trying to insight, Ponike?
You have a +12. Wow. Oh yeah, I forgot. Big levels means big numbers.
Ponike,
Ponike.
you're muted.
Fucking damn it, I'm muted. Okay, so I was rolling insight on the dude in the box. I wanted to see what he was riffling around with, and if him tugging on his ear, and what was going on with that. But obviously, Ponike is she's just vibing. She's just beat to shit. She's not paying attention. She's dripping with blood, and she has singed clothing. She's just kind of existing.
Singed clothing, and not on purpose this time.
Yep, and you met your stalker. You're a little shook. Okay.
God, double nat ones.
Yeah, that's fucking incredible. Now, everyone, we are in the section of this particular beautiful little meeting that's a little bit open-ended. I have a few fixed plate items that I want to attend to. Buddy, I imagine that there is a particular thing that you want to get up to, buddy. And Nebelshoy, my good man, there's also a mysterious caper that you wish to pull.
Yep.
All right,
Okay.
I'm going to give you all a few minutes to mull it over while I go use the privy. So I'm going to pause the recording. Welcome back, everyone, after a brief sojourn into psychological trauma that was not of my own making. Buddy, Nebelshoy, what conclusion do we reach here? Who wants to start the little segment first?
I suppose, if unless Buddy is so inclined to change, I shall scout ahead.
Go ahead and give me some investigation, if you don't mind,
All right, then.
Nebelshoy. Perfect. Nebelshoy, let me go to your particular little section. Now, Nebelshoy, what exactly are you looking for here?
Just as the rogue, the resident rogue of the group, he's looking for a way out. Like the nearest exits. He's looking at the mirror, and it's just kind of weirded out. He is a Clonn, but he's not from strictly Clonn culture. He's from a sort of mixed culture. So seeing full Clonnish culture right now is kind of, in its own way, not overwhelming, not daunting, just peculiar, and he's out of sorts. But I guess in many ways he's looking for a way to slip out and possibly do a little bit of searching. He wants to search the town while there's nobody there. He likes the idea of seeing the place, feeling the vibe of an area without the people there.
Well, this is kind of amazing, but I rolled for your loot score, and you got the highest possible tier. I just PM'd you what you discovered within the various treasure troves sent here by the lizard folk for that weird dragon that was murdered, and you picked up these two very particular items. What would you like to do with these items, Nebelshoy?
Okay, good. Yeah, I guess he just sort of he's going to he's going to take the potion that he's found and very subtly pocket it.
Okay.
Yeah. He picks out like a gold piece in his hand and wants to place it on like, you know, wherever he found it, as a sort of, here's a tip even though you're not there, and then thinks better of it, knowing that a gold piece is probably not enough for what he's found. But before he like just walks away, he looks down and he sees the scroll, and there's something about it that's just like strange.
It's, give me, you readily identify this, but the scroll is in Clonnish.
Again, it's strange. Like he half culture, a little bit of deep gnome from where he comes from, but like the Clonnish does speak to him, so he's gonna pick that up too, and just sort of open it and not so much like read it out loud, but just sort of read it to figure out what it is. What's it? What does it say?
It is a scroll of divination. It's relatively high level, and from what you understand, although it can be a bit cryptic, it tells you the truth of situations, legends.
Huh. Okay.
Ask of it a thing, and it shall tell you the tales of the thing.
Hmm. Hmm. Let me see. He would think about it for a little bit. And he would think back on Asger and the question, the promise that he sort of gave him when Nebelshoy was just in his own way rather freaking out over the fact that he was basically staring at a demigod. And he's going to think about the party themselves and the strangeness that they were at ground zero. And the strangeness that they were strong enough that they may or may not, Asger may or may not keep the promise that he's kept before, that he gave to Nebelshoy, of maintaining balance, of finding something. Of all of them, Nebelshoy has a respect for Asger, a respectful distance to Ponike, a aversion towards Milo, and a compassion to Silas. But all of them, it's strange. All of them seem strange. The place where they came from, the place where he found them was strange. Silas is crying in the face of everything is strange. And the reason why, whenever he does cry, it's strange. All of it. He looks down at the scroll, and then walking away from the group, walking away from everything, to a little place that's alone. He asks the scroll the question, has the party that he's been traveling with had the fate of the world in their hands before?
All right, we're going to take it from the top. Asger, how would you interpret the question he just posited to the scroll?
We're each answering this?
Yes.
Oh,
Ask the question one more time.
has our party ever had the fate of the world in its hands before?
Times.
Good up.
Multiple times. In my mind, that I can think of realistically. Multiple times at this
What's the biggest one where you saved the world?
point. Saved is irrelevant.
Well, not the four of you in particular, but one gentleman in particular. You're welcome to answer the question as you see fit, because the thing he is using is legendary for being cryptic. What is your interpretation, Asger?
A being from another plane is the only reason why the entire world wasn't destroyed.
Repeat that?
A being from another plane of existence was the only reason the entire world was not destroyed.
Huh, interesting. In what other ways has the party held the fate of the world in their hands necessarily?
This
I'll say.
all-powerful lich.
Okay.
Uh,
Actually, let's go. We'll go. I'll cycle back to you in a minute. Milo, go ahead and mull it over. Milo, how has the party had the fate of the world in its hands?
Is he like speaking this answer, or is this just?
No, I'm just asking you out of character.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. The world's kind of been in our hands since the moment we all got together. Like it's
Yes, it's like March.
A better question would be, when did it ever leave our hands? Like, when was the world not in our hands?
Okay.
True. I mean, it's still in our hands.
Yeah, if it wasn't in our hands, it's been in our pockets.
Nice. Well said.
Thank you.
Pony K.
You muted.
Thank you. Yeah, several times. You know, if it, two extraplanar beings were sucking everyone's dreams and slowly killing everyone, and we had to go and like put the kibosh on that.
I completely.
It's like a weekly thing. It feels like Supernatural, where like every season is just like another thing we have to, It's like
Seriously.
once a week we are fucking in game. Like every other week is like this big apocalyptic level event.
It's
Okay.
literally like the Mr. Incredibles gif. I just cleaned up this place. Can you keep it clean for 10 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
Now Silas.
Yes.
Answer the question.
Well, like I said, to the scroll, to Nebelshoy's question, has this party ever held the fate of the world in its hands? Yes, and when it's not in their hands, it's in their pocket for later. But a couple examples that I could think of would be, before the morning itself, we dispatched the Lord of Blades after trying to talk to him like a grown-up and just rolling poorly. There was that. There was dealing with the aftermath of Gyarados and the power vacuum that we secured by securing his brother's rule. What else? We fucking put Power Draw back together. We united all of those countries, at least under like, we all became neighbors instead of them just being like, well, what the fuck do we do? I mean, we were a council. We've done a lot.
Assassination.
And we also fought an angel. Oh, wait, no. What's it called? It's something with an E. Empyrean?
An Imperial.
Didn't we fight an Empyrean?
Empyrean, yeah. And we stopped an
Yeah.
assassination.
We damn well did. We saved
How about that one,
it.
too?
Nebelshoy, you are bombarded with a plurality of very specific circumstances stretching to the beginning where these compatriots, then 5, became a different 5. 6, then a different 6, then 5, and now the 4 before you. But there's one situation, one that rises above the others, where one of them laid down his life. A creature from Serania laid down his body and soul entire to save the world from the morning. And there, the scroll tells you the tale of the time when the morning ended, when the Mournland was no more. And you see 5 figures, 4 clear, 1 obscured. And you know what happened that day. Who wants to tell Nebelshoy what happened that day?
Ooh. I
Go
would
ahead.
love to.
Take it away, Penny.
Asgore, did you want to speak as well, or do you want Punike to take the floor?
Nope. Pony can do it.
All right, go ahead,
Pitch in
Ponike.
like a Greek chorus.
Tell them what happened.
I think it would be. Oh, Ian, can we each give an in-character answer for what happened that day?
Yes.
Oh, that fucks.
All right, we
That's
will
cool.
start with Ponike, then Silas, Asger, then Milo. Go ahead, Ponike.
We were going off to defeat the Lord of Blades because he was recruiting Warforge and building and stealing their souls to power a machine that was determined to expand the morning. Long story short, I tried to fix it, and in doing so, caused it to begin expanding the morning. And it was Belfin who laid down his life and gave up his own body and soul to save us.
Silas.
I was tired that day. I tried to talk to a monster, and he wouldn't listen to me, no matter how I tried to phrase my point. And then we had to kill him, and I was tired. And I was ready to sit down and just wait for the next thing to come along that wants to kill us or the world. But then she touched it. And then that was the only time I didn't hate him. He died that day. I saw the fog, and I felt the fire. He died so that we could live. And when we got back home, and as I watched it happen, I was the only one who watched. I didn't want him to do it without anyone watching him go. He's dead and gone, and the morning's over, and the morning has just begun. And I need a suit, and I don't want to go, and I don't know what I'll say. I'm still tired, but it's not getting better.
Asger.
Just a second, hold on.
Sure, take your time. Sure, take your time. I'll just pause the recording until you're ready.
Yeah.
Alright, take it away, Asger.
I lost another brother that day. Another to fall to this cause. He sacrificed himself to save us all. We were discussing how to fix it, how to stop this infernal machine from fulfilling its purpose. He was smarter than all of us. And I was waiting for him to come up with the solution, but I didn't think that would be the solution. He laid down his essence, his very existence in this entire multiverse to ensure that we lived, to ensure that the world lived. I will never be able to thank him enough for what he did. But even with what he did, the cost was astronomical. And I will forever be trying to figure out how we can make it right.
So
bring the world back into balance, a world that was already out of balance to begin with, and is now even further so. If it kills me, I will figure it out.
Mila, take it away, Mila.
Belfan did what was necessary. He did what we're all asked to do. His time just came before us. If we each don't show the same level of bravery and resolve that he did, then we will fail. I feel his fate is not too dissimilar from our own, but now we are not tethered to it. We don't have to go like he did, but he went so that we could succeed. And I will not forget his sacrifice, nor will I let it be in vain.
Give me a wisdom saving throw, Nebelshoi, with advantage.
Oh boy. Uh-oh.
Ooh.
You feel the wisdom of the truth of the morning wash over you. Oh, shit. You feel the wisdom and truth of the morning wash over you, Nebelshoi. You feel the truth soak into your bones, shattering your soul and your resolve, and filling you with something new that you haven't felt in quite some time. What is that new thing, Nebelshoi?
Complication. Nebelshoi has always been an assassin. In truth, his history has been a bloody one. But this is complicated. I imagine he's, unbeknownst to even himself, doubled over, his eyes just red, and he's clutching the feather, and it's like being punched in a gut before in your gut before you even realize you've been hit. You just doubled over and coughing and gagging and spluttering and trying to catch your breath and angry, like an instinctual hunger to lash out at whatever could have done that. But the more the seconds pass and he realizes the truth of it, it's complicated. Nebelshoi's lost his only family, what's left of it, but so have they. His rage can only go so far. But they still didn't tell him. And he gets up with his one remaining hand and he picks up the cap of bells that have no bells within them, and he places it on his head once more and heaves one breath and another, looks down at the brown feathers of his adopted daughter. In his hand, looks down at the potion of invisibility that he has placed on his waist, looks at the group for one final moment, and leaves.
Bravo. Neville Shoy, as you leave, you take a deep breath, and you hear the din of a new commotion rising from the center of Elsewhere. You turn around and you peer it. Why do you look back to the way you're going and continue forward?
The Clonns had better be safe. Their guilt may keep them at bay. The second six, Asger's remaining bit of honor, Milo's newfound honor, Ponike's interesting interpretation of balance, Silas's heart, Buddy's dedication. All of them. They may or may not be enough to solve this. But he'll be watching. If nothing else, just to see if at least one of them keeps to their word. Then he's done.
Thank you, Neville Shoy, for your excellent exit narration. Can we give a hand to Neville Shoy for that beautiful little scene?
Fucking Ryan, you're a god, dude.
You're so fucking good, dude.
You're so fucking good. Dude.
Chills.
Perfect art from perfect materials.
Get on a podcast, would you? God.
Yeah, you're good. You know, we're gonna talk because we're gonna have Neville Shoy's obvious revenge, but very, very good. You're welcome to stay for the rest of the session, and
Absolutely.
I might have a few things for you in Ashtakala. We're going to continue forward into Buddy's little segment, which is what the commotion was in the center of Elsewhere. Can everyone give me a quick perception check? If you get higher than a 12, you will find yourself intrigued and pulled to the center of town.
I got a 24, baby.
Milo?
Doesn't Milo have a plus 12? Wouldn't he be automatically intrigued?
That is true, but let's have him.
Milo's always
I
intrigued.
actually have a plus 11, so
Oh.
So you're automatically intrigued unless you
I was
roll
gonna
in
say.
that one.
Silas.
And that one is still a 12.
Yep.
Ooh.
Silas and Milo, more particularly Silas in this situation because of the nat 20, you find that something large is shaking down at the center of town, and you and the rest of your compatriots enter into the town square where Buddy is performing some strange ritual. Do you want to take us away, Buddy?
Yeah, so you can all see Buddy just like barking up orders and making circles with faces inside of them, just getting some dirt signed on, and he starts skulking around for anything like paint and such. And he gives one of his kids his hats and just starts murmuring a spell, kind of setting himself up for this. And during the spell, he casts again, Wish. And
Give me that D100 really quick before we go any further.
oh shit,
Let me double check here. I think it's 1 to 33 and you can never do it again.
oh,
Well, that was your last wish of all time, buddy.
Oh,
Feel free to narrate how you realize that you have done the last push against the arcane in this manner that you ever will, as you feel this magic leave you forever as you cast your spell.
oh, you weren't kidding.
Yeah, that's how the spell works.
Oh,
As Buddy is singing this incantation, he can just feel a drop of rain fall on him as more and more clouds just surround the area and begin to darken and darken. And the winds pick up, but he keeps singing and gesturing with his hands as the same magic from last time with Tangle just erupts from the ground and starts shaking it a little bit. Figures of bone start appearing, then muscle, then skin, as the storm gets harsher and harsher, almost like a what would you call that? Well, just a storm. I can't think of the word. And supercell, that's what it was. And even with all the heavy rain and wind, he keeps singing until the forms of his children just appear. And the rain just washes over them with their eyes still closed. And he just looks at them and just cheers and jumps and yippies before running over to them and sort of punching them with happiness to see if they're alive, as he gets his other boys to run over and start clothing them because they're naked, and starts painting on their faces for them. And he just looks at them with pure happiness as his own makeup begins to fall from all of the heavy weather.
Two new figures lie before the crowd. The Clonns erupt and murmur, necromancy, to bring back the dead. To think they can have joy, but we can't? It's not fair. You hear murmuring and rancor as the crowd starts to simmer up into a slow-burning rage. Before you, two new figures. One, handsome, tough, a big purple curly mane and a strong face. Short, quiet. Normally, you can tell that he's usually reserved, but there's a simmering rage in his face, clenched jaw, fists tight. The other is thin, shoulder-length, soft light blue green curls, 6'2", a callous face. He looks around, nude, and attempts to tug the clothes that were put onto his brother's back a fraction of a second before he received his own. He seems to be offended almost that his nakedness was not covered. They look out. They open their mouths, but a sound does not come out. Their hands paw upon the dirt. How to react?
He looks at Carlos, the green son, and just yells after him. Hey, where you going? Where the hell you think you're going? I just brought you back. You can't even give your dad a fucking hug?
You see the both of them continue to paw the ground with their hands, tracing circles into it. Something more than circles. Symbols emanating outwards. Rivulets of meaning, streams of meaning, torrents of meaning, hidden, obscured. Something within them, something from the place where they were, has been brought back with them, and it's coming out. They remain quiet.
Eddie walks up to them and just stomps on the circles and sort of just kicks it around. What the hell do you think you're doing?
And for a brief reprieve, does anyone else wish to roll insight on this particular situation?
Oh, we're watching this shit?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's in the.
Ah!
It's in
Oh,
the,
yeah, we did roll, didn't we?
Jesus Christ, Milo.
Insight! Bink!
Milo's
Jesus Christ,
fucking
Milo.
ridiculous. Plus 16 insight. God damn.
Hmm.
Milo, you look at them and you see the symbols that they're scrawling upon the ground, and you look at them and they sicken you to your core. They're disgusting, pure and wholesome and pleasant and longing.
Super gross.
Ugh, despicable. Now, Punike, you get a faintly similar perception. Something about these symbols is not evil, maybe not neutral. There's a kind of goodness to them, is the easiest way to describe it.
Okay.
Silas, you reach the determination that the symbols that they are scrawling are not outwardly hostile, but you can reach no conclusion greater than that. And Asger, you, with your religion check, will determine the following. Bear with me one moment. I'm going to PM it to you. Now, buddy, go ahead.
He only asked them, what the hell they think you're doing.
They
I
look-
brought you back and you're just... What do you think you're doing?
They look at you, and their eyes are wide. They open their mouths, but no sounds come out. Only a kind of strange murmuring and gurgling, like something's attempting to do a thing it has not done in quite some time.
Well, you got hands, don't you? Speak.
They bring up their hands and attempt to make some faint gestures, but the people that can speak Clonnish interpret it as gibberish, frenetic babbling, no grammar, no structure, no sense. Although there's one kind of strange motif that courses through these odd myriad babblings. Warmth, peace, safety, calm.
Alright, we gotta get you two out of the rain.
You think they need to... Hey, buddy!
Just turns to you. What?
Think your boy needs a blanket?
Of course he needs a blanket. It's fucking raining.
Oh, and Silas will go run and find a blanket.
He's gonna try to help his boys up and ask his other sons to pick up the bigger one. We gotta find you guys a tent. Catch a cold in this damn rain.
They're taken to their feet but seem to have little capacity to walk on their own. You see them putting symbols into the ground again and seeming to almost look upon the ground and the symbols with mourning. As they look at you, and their mouths attempt to form words and their hands attempt to form thoughts, but nothing clear comes out.
Shit. Dan really did fuck you guys up. Okay. And he starts looking around to find any sort of free tent away from people who are just gawking at him. Hell y'all looking at?
It's not fair. I lost kids. We all lost someone. Why do yours get to come back and ours don't? Why is that? Why do you get to have it all?
I studied for this shit.
And I could read all the books I want, but no book is going to tell me to put myself in front of everyone else. And that's what you just did. We're all mourning here. And now, I think we can all tell whatever chance we had to see them again is gone. Because you picked you. You picked you.
Listen, if I tried to do everybody else's kids, everybody else's mom and dad and aunt and uncle, it wouldn't have mattered. If this was the last time anyways, I wouldn't have brought everybody back. I'm not some damn miracle worker. Why don't you ask your damn mirror person? They seem to know everything.
The mirror does not know these arts. And I think you are a miracle worker. Your boys are back. My daughters are gone. Their wives are gone. Sisters, brothers, wives, husbands, cousins, nephews, nieces. A whole lot of them. Entire people just gone. Because you chose you. You chose you over everyone else.
So what if I did bring them all back? And I never got to get my sons. Would that be fair to me either?
Is it fair to us? You could have at least done it quiet. You basically showed off in front of us. You could have done it quietly, you know. We could have been none the wiser. But you had to do it in the damn dead center of town, where we all had to watch. I saw that smile on your face. I hope it gives you comfort, because all I have are frowns now. My mouth is going to be creased. My cheeks are going to run red with the salt of my tears. But at least you got a smile. Imagine it's worth it for you in the end, isn't it? You picked yourself. And you not only picked yourself, but you made everyone else know you did. Could have at least been quiet about it. How do you need to know this was an option? None of us did. In the large, rising crescendo of the crowd, a kind of fervent murmuring that is immediately and palpably understood as hostile.
And Buddy just looks at him. He doesn't say anything. He knows he's right, but he doesn't say anything. And in anger, he just rushes his boys out of the situation into a different tent. Come on.
The boys are taken out, and the man who was yelling at you places his hands upon his face, and a quiet sobbing overtakes him, and the rage simmers to a cool sorrow. How does the rest of the gang react to this?
Silas is fucking stunned.
Asger?
Yeah, Asger. What do you think of that?
I can't hear you. It says you're lighting up, but I can't hear anything.
Yeah, he's silent right now.
Oh
Just-
no.
You're gonna. Okay. So Asger's gonna walk away from the giant crowd of people that are talking and whatnot to find somewhere quiet for a second, away from everybody. Everybody wants to follow they can, but he's just gonna piss off for a bit.
All right, we'll cycle around.
And
Go ahead.
Bless you.
he's gonna do. Thank you. He's gonna do his usual attempt at communication, especially since she now has so much more power.
Describe how you
And-
attempt to pray to your mistress, Hell.
Well, he now has a very small, portable version of his original altar that also magically lifts Threadsever up into the air. So he's going to place down the small altar and allow Threadsever to spin and twist and spin and twist until it just becomes a blur. And he's going to lay down his runes around the altar, light them, kneel before it, and prostrate himself. And ask for guidance.
You receive the following immediately, clearly, crisply, soundly within your mind.
I'll let everybody else go first.
Uh-oh.
Milo and Ponike, how do you interpret this particular situation?
Y'all both muted.
Oh, sorry, I was talking. She absolutely abhors rain, and so
I wonder why.
she has her umbrella made of fire, just keeping the rain from like as it started to rain, she just kind of sparked her hand. She like made a spark in her hand, and just a umbrella of fire appeared above her. And she's just kind of holding it and just kind of huddled up, and she's just like looking around for like some kind of shelter, you know, like a gazebo or like an awning or something that she can just get under and just kind of sit and continue nursing her wounds. You know, try to figure out maybe look for a place where the lot of them can sleep for the night.
All right. I like that. Milo?
Milo's just kind of watching this happen. He's but he doesn't say it, but just so y'all know, Milo thinks that they did a cool thing and that they shouldn't have to resurrect everybody's people. And if you can do good on yourself and bring back your loved ones, like everyone else can fuck off, because you gotta look after your own people. So
yeah, I literally typed out a PM to Ian that said, "Can I shoot this guy?" And then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna decide not to. I deleted it.
Yeah, no, this guy's a prick. So in that case, Milo will walk. Oh wait, never mind. Yeah, that's it. If Buddy looks over to Milo, Milo will just kind of give a little like a squint and a frown and a nod, kind of like, you got it. Don't worry about this prick.
This is very bad.
God, what is happening with Asger though is what I'm wondering. Oh, actually, no. Okay, Milo has that moment, and then Milo looks over at Asger and just does little collar tug, like.
Shit.
Yeah, no, Ponike, wherever Ponike found, if it's an awning, a gazebo, or whatever, she wants to be able to see where Asger went to and be able to see where Buddy went to. So that way, if she sees Asger moving towards Buddy, she can maybe slow him down.
Fuck. Silas is gonna he's almost dancing back and forth on his hoofies, Who do I follow? And he'll follow after Buddy. Was that blanket that he finally found?
Okay, Asger.
Buddy better get some quality time with their family in real quick.
Real quick, man.
It's like that.
You better start just play like 25 minutes of a Monopoly game real quick.
Play Bop It. Simon says.
Now, Asger, my good man, you have just saw someone perform necromancy and bring the dead back to life.
For the second time.
For the second time. 2 of them. What do you want to do here, buddy? Asger, friend. What's your angle here?
So, I guess Poneke is the only one who can see me right now, probably since they specifically said they were gonna go where they could see me. So you saw the whole ritual with Asger prostrating himself, and you actually probably would have seen like a brief visage of just Hell's face within Threadsever for a split second. But that was enough to convey a message to Asger. And after her face fades away, Threadsever stops cold. And it was in its spear form to maintain a perfect rotation, and it by itself flicks down into a scythe. And Asger slowly raises up onto his haunches, looks up at the scythe, and just kind of nods. And he stands up, and he takes the altar, and he puts it in his bag. He takes the spear, and he just kind of holds it out to the side, blade facing downwards. And then you see him just lift into the air. And he looks around, sees the tent that Buddy went to, and very slowly he wings his way over.
Fuck. The second I see you take off into the sky, Ponike just stands up, still bloodied and bruised from the, like she was healing herself and like cauterizing some of her wounds. And she sees you take into the sky, and she just kind of like, fuck me. And then she pops her wings and darts over to intercept you as you get to Buddy's tent.
Silas is in the tent now, by the way.
Okay, so you said you intercepted me. What do you say?
Yeah. I just want to burn this spell slot. Yeah, she intercepts you and she goes, I kind of have a feeling I know what you're thinking.
Do you?
There's just like the constant sizzling of like raindrops hitting her.
I love it.
You're not gonna murder his sons, are you?
As you look at Asger, you notice quiet pain in his eyes. He doesn't say anything. He just looks straight at you. Almost uncomfortable.
She takes a deep breath. She shakes her head and goes, Asger, if you're in there, if you can hear me through her control, I want you to know that you can fight this.
And he chuckles a little. He looks at you and he says, she hasn't had control of me in a long time. I am my own now. As I have told Milo, we are free of our former binds. Milo and myself, very similar in that. However, to tear A soul that has been at peace for so long. Back from the afterlife, back from what it seems to be paradise. Has its effects. Did you not notice their scribblings, their inability to talk, their anger, their pain?
That was your brother, and he was scribbling in anguish. He was scribbling. They were scribbling signs of peace for Pete's sake.
Default to Pete. Love it.
Everyone knows a Pete. Not everyone knows a Christ.
Very true.
Signs of peace. Signs of longing for a peace they once knew. The next thing that I am about to do, I promise, is not to kill them immediately. I wish to allow Buddy to actually speak with them, especially Buddy, one who is so well versed in magic. They would probably understand the spell I am about to use, the magics I will have to employ to allow him to speak with his children.
Okay.
Now, you can continue to stand in my way, and I will move you, or you can let me do this.
Trust you. And she'll float down to the ground and just kind of follow you into the tent.
Silas is draping a blanket, or attempting to drape a blanket over the shoulders of the purple one.
I will create a very small, like, teacup-sized bonfire in the palm of my hand and, like, kind of offer it to Buddy as like a you want me to I can be space heater.
Hey Benike, what's up? What's up?
Well, I mean, she's following Asger, so it's Asger first.
Hey,
Well, Asker's not saying a word. He's letting you guys do your thing. He's just waiting for a minute.
are you still holding the scythe?
Oh, yeah.
Then Silas does his thing for about 10 seconds.
Yeah,
Sees you standing there. Hang on. Sees you standing there. Goes back to his shit, does a double take, and then looks at you with like just he's eyes that are like, really? Now? And he just kind of stands up and kind of partway stands in front of that purple-haired one. Hey, what's up?
You see Ponike behind Asger, like, doing, like, mouthing, I tried to stop him, he wanted to do something special, I don't know.
And Silas, like, presses his lips together and, like, nods, like, And then he looks at Asger. And he goes, what's up?
He doesn't say a word. He gives you the same cold, pain-stricken eyes he gave to Honeycake. And then, in a flash of metal, The scythe comes within, I'd say, an inch of your face, slams down at your feet,
So cool.
and he flicks it up to where it's a spear again, and just kind of sitting in the ground. And at the non-blade end, where Threadsaber used to be made of bones and things of that, is now much more metallic in most places. On the end of the spear, there is a very small etched skull. And he walks behind the spear, sits down cross-legged, and begins waving his hands. And as he does so, the eyes of the skull light up, and the jaw slowly, and a black and gold miasma comes out of the mouth and slowly drifts down to the floor and traces its way to the boys, and traces up their body and into their mouths, and you see their heads flick back for an instant, their eyes roll, and then they look forward.
Well,
So
when you throw the scythe at Silas's face and then slam it to the ground, he stands still, and about I'd say 3 full seconds after it's implanted itself in the ground, he goes, "Ah!" and then takes a couple steps back and just stands next to between Buddy and the purple-haired son.
it's so
Leave the
cold
rest.
here.
Yeah, there we go.
The boys start talking. It's so cold here. Why is it so cold? Why is it so cold? Where's the light? Why is it so dark? Why is everything like this? Where are we? What's happening? Dad? Why are you here? You're not supposed to be here yet. Why are you here, Dad? Why?
He just looks at them like really confused and starts sort of softly slapping their faces. What's going on in there? What are you talking about? We're in elsewhere.
This place is so cold. I remember the other place. It was warm. Everyone was there. I felt no difference between me and everyone else. Wholeness, completion, catharsis. There is an effortlessness to it. It was a warmth that soaked into the soul and the bones. Now it's cold again. I haven't felt this since I was alive. Am I alive? Why am I alive, Dad? Why am I here again? Why are we both here again? The one that's talking is Ranger, and they put their hands tightly over Carlos. Why are we here, Dad? We shouldn't be back here. We should be in the warm place. Why are we here?
He just looks at them and just wide eyes, just looks and wonders what he's done. He wanted his son so bad, but he never really thought about the repercussions of it and how they would feel. And he just asks his other sons to just put more blankets on them. Keep them warm. Don't leave their set, but keep them warm.
It's not the same. Do you know who's there, Dad? They've been waiting to say something to you. They extend out their hands, wishing for you to touch them both this one time. Do you give them that kindness?
He does.
She said the fairies will watch over you, Dad. I can't remember her face, but in that place, we knew her all over, from the beginning to the end. We know why you miss her. We need to go back, Dad. We can't stay here. It's too cold. We're not meant to be here. You took us from the divine, and you freed us into these bodies again. We need to be free, Dad. You need to let us go. We'll see you there. You'll see all of us there. Please let us go. You need to let us go, Dad.
He holds onto their hands a little tighter and just kind of kneels on one knee and looks at them. You're too young to go back. You still have lives to live, people to see. It wasn't time for you yet.
That's not your decision, Dad. And we don't want to be here. We were happy. Mom was there. The rivers babbled to the plains. Cool winds came down from the mountains. There was song in the air, literally in the air. You could hear everything singing to you, everything in harmony. Everyone is one, but still themselves. You feel things there that can only be felt by the soul directly. Imagine living in that place and being brought back here to the cold. It's cruel, Dad. We don't want to be here. We know you're hurting, but you have to let us go. We didn't choose the first time, but we're choosing now. We want to go back. Please let us go.
He keeps holding onto their hands tightly and just kind of clenches his face as they talk. He doesn't want them to go back. He just can't put the words to it. And he just shakes his head and keeps shaking it. No. No, you can't go back. Thought I lost 4 sons. Now they're all back. You can't leave again.
It's not your decision, Dad. We don't want to be here. I don't want to have to ruin the memory of the father we knew with the father that's before us now, who wants his sons to suffer just so that he can feel a little balm in this cold, cold place. Please let us go, Dad.
And with that last word, he just huffs and jumps at them for a hug and whispers to them, I don't want you to go again. Not again. I need you to. I need you.
They hold you back tighter, and the both of them, one on each ear, get closer and say, it won't be much longer, Papa. We'll see each other soon, in the place beyond even this next life. Don't tell anyone else.
And he just cries. And just hugs his sons tighter. He can't form any words anymore.
Are you ready, buddy?
He doesn't want to be, but if I have to.
What do you do to Asger?
He stands up from the both of them and gets a last long good look at them with his other sons, just finally together. And he clears his throat and washes away any tears from his eyes and gets his signature glare again to turn around to Asger and nod. Just don't make it hurt.
Take it away, Asger.
So, as you say this, about 10 minutes have passed within the time of you spending it, your sons being able to talk. And you notice their mouths open back up, almost unwillingly, and miasma flows back out and up and into the scythe. And he stands and looks at you. And says, it will not be painful, that I can promise you. And you are doing them kindness. Look to them now. This is what their life would be for the rest of the time that they were on this plane. And they're back as they were before, unable to speak, confused, terrified almost. Asger says, I allowed you to speak with the piece of their souls that are still stuck within the in-between realms. The art of bringing someone back is difficult and is almost never perfect. And I understand why you did it. I do not judge you for it. They shall know peace again. They shall know harmony. They shall know no pain, no sorrow, no fear. A place of happiness. And he looks away from you back towards his scythe and walks over. And this time, he reaches forward and grabs the scythe. And as he does, the eyes of the skull this time alight gold. And Mouth opens again, and the boys' heads roll backwards. And they let out a final sigh of relief. And they are gone.
Buddy just watches and steps out to stand in the rain. Just to kind of find some sort of calm. And he steps away from the tent to the other side of the town. And he just thinks to himself, if he sees that one guy who was barking up a storm at him, he wants to try to punch him in the face.
Yes.
Bit his ass.
You see him.
Alright. What do I roll?
Strength plus proficiency.
As this is happening, Asger will look to Silas and just say, "You should not be alone right now." I will
Wait,
take-
who's not alone? I'm sorry.
He's talking about Buddy. He looks to you. He should not be alone right now. You should go to him. I will take care of their bodies.
You clock
Oh.
the guy right in the kisser side of the face, knocks him out cold, and he just plops on the ground.
He's gonna spit near his face and just walk away.
Question.
Answer.
Shut up.
So anyway,
For
everyone's
Ian.
character is dead. Yeah?
Again?
Damn it.
You're late this time. So with all this rigmarole of a dude casting a wish spell, making it rain, and then a bunch of people getting real sad about it, is it fair to say that maybe somebody went to an elder and went, "Hey, he made me sad," because that's a big thing to happen and for nobody to take notice about. Besides one dude who got mad, understandably, of course, but
Yes. There's been a bit of a commotion in the Clonnish community because someone used high-level magic to bring the dead back to life.
yeah, fuck. I just think it's really funny, what happened just now that I can't say yet. But for now, Silas runs after Buddy, goes at the tent in time to see him clock the dude, just as Dolly rounds a corner and sees Buddy clock a dude. So they're both kind of like looking at each other, almost like a Western standoff. Like, what should we do? Who's it gonna be? Draw. Is Asger come out of the tent yet?
Let's see, within that amount of time, probably not. He's preparing the bodies.
Right. Okay. We could say Silas goes off to Buddy, just, tries to get him away from that dude. Dolly will get between Buddy and the dude and help the dude up. And it's both just a pissing contest of fuck you, no, fuck you, fuck you. While two people just try to keep these dudes apart while letting them cry, I suppose. But if Dolly should find out Asger killed some endangered species, she's gotta go fucking find him in that tent. That is
I
up
mean,
to
That's fair.
whatever, though.
He didn't technically kill them, he just released their souls.
She doesn't know the whole story yet. She's just gonna want to have a talk with you, as is someone else.
Asker's got one more to go after, too.
So, Asger, you are preparing the bodies when you hear a rather stifled and then fervent knock upon the door.
The tent?
Tent door. Flap, 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 flap.
Pretty fit with apple.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
So, go ahead and introduce the two characters, Silas.
Whom?
Well, you said two people were coming, right?
Mm,
Dolly and the other, or is the other going to show up later as planned? What do you want to do here?
well, I think it'd be very strange if it was Dolly and the other, because that's a lot of back and forth, but it could be...
No, we
look.
will do Dolly and Seraphina. How about that?
Okay.
Okay,
Good enough
so
for me.
go ahead and open with Dolly, and then I will have Seraphina enter the scene when appropriate.
Okay. Sir, what did you just do?
What was needed?
Oh my goodness.
It smells like a funeral parlor in here. Are those bodies?
Don't look. Turn around. You know how you get around blood.
You're
Konike
right.
has like a small bonfire, like waiting,
Oh, yeah,
like
you're still
following, like following Asger, like lighting like little sparks, like helping him get everything ready.
Hey, what do you got there? As you're like holding a corpse. Fire?
Maybe.
She's holding like a bonfire the size of a teacup.
Oh, yes. Alright. Clearly, I don't have the whole story. Tell me what happened.
Have you not heard the story?
No!
None of the angry kinsmen of yours came running and told you what he did.
Yes, they told me what he did. He brought back his sons.
He brought
That-
back shells of his son.
Alright. Explain your side, please. Because right now, it just looks like to me you've killed 2 more Clonns, and it is my job to protect those who are still here. They were here again for a moment. Explain yourself.
Almost
They
makes you
weren't here.
guilty for the first murder as well. So much death and destruction. Do you have to bring this rot into our pleasant little town? We just need a little bit of peace. But I thank you for assisting me in my journey. But please go on. Explain how killing 2 people is somehow okay.
Keep it together, Seraphina.
Are you both done?
Yes.
No.
My apologies.
But I'll be
dear,
quiet.
Dear. Shh. And she will offer a hanky to Seraphina.
If you had said your piece, then let me say mine. I'm a servant of the mistress of death, of hell herself. I am here on this plane to do her work. When they were brought back, I was almost immediately aware that something was wrong. So I went and I spoke to my mistress. And they are but shells of what they should be. You see, they have for too long been within the plane of peace. Too long been from the lights of paradise. After a time, the soul becomes accustomed to the warmth, to the serenity that is the afterlife, especially ones as innocent as these two. Some souls who are war-torn, die in battle, go to different places, but these two, innocents, went to peace, went to paradise, apparently with their mother, if what they said to us with their final breaths to be held true, and to even give them the ability to speak. I had to use magics to return voices to the dead. They were not fully here. They were torn between two realms. They had too much of an attachment, too much of a bonding to the plane of peace for them to fully come back here. Fortunately, I am afraid another may be the same way. We may have to find out. For beings like that, of innocence and of peace, to come back from that plane, all they know in this world is darkness and cold and confusion, anger and pain. Cannot know happiness again, not know light again. Did what had to be done to relieve them of that pain. They said in their own words, they no longer wished to be upon this plane. They wished to go back to their mothers. Now I am sorry if I have caused any consternation within the camp. I did what had to be done.
As you explain yourself, Dolly's face changes from an expression of hot-tempered, motherly scorn to one of mournful acceptance. And when you finish, she clasps her hands in front of her, in her lap. And she exhales, only so that her next words don't warble, showing how sad she is now. And she says to Asger, I see. I am sorry for coming on so strong. And I am sorry that this is your yoke to bear. You're right. Thank you for telling me your side of the story. I will, I'll explain everything to the rest of them outside. I see you're preparing them for some sort of burial.
Well, I was just anointing them to be prepared in whatever rite that most befits your kin. Which
I can help.
I am unsure.
I am.
Washing them, making sure they were ready to return to their souls.
I can help you. I'm a cleric, and Buddy didn't tell me, but his other two boys mentioned that at least their mother and at least Ranger here, followed under the lady as I do. I can get them ready to go back to her. Serafina, thank you. I don't want you to be around here longer than you need to be.
I've had enough tears. You do what needs to be done.
And Dolly will get down and kneel in her plain cotton dress and start helping and kind of showing just so that she can get a hand while doing it. Because usually what you do when you prepare a Clonnish body for burial is you do it on a table and you do it with nice things, not in the mud on two instead of one naked dead dudes. So she'll need a little hand, but she helps.
Actually, if you explain that to Asger, he will get up and be like, "Give me 1 minute." Walks out, grabs a boulder, picks it the fuck up, smashes it into a small tablet, and then brings it back, sets it down, picks the bodies up.
What was that noise?
He does this sometimes. Just here, I can dry off some of the muck, and Ponige will start like drying the mud and then like scraping it off of them.
This particular boulder, after you clear off the mud and debris, is engulfed in infernal writing.
I take it back out of the tent, set it down, and I'm like, "I will get to you later," and then walk to another boulder
Done.
and like try and inspect it a bit before bringing it
Give
back.
me an investigation check.
While he's doing that, the other two alive boys are just gonna pick up their brothers.
Infernal.
Oh
Kind of-
fuck! I forgot your two other sons were in here.
Yeah, just kind of standing there like.
One of them isn't crying, the other one's just tearfully like picking up his brother and just muttering to himself about like, "Man, I missed you. Maybe it's been too long and now you're gone again." And he's just covering them with blankets and just looking outside, watching somebody just punch a boulder.
Oh,
And
man.
the second one, realize it's fine and punch that one.
Demon portal activated. Alright,
The
so...
infernal writing was on inside of the boulder this time.
Oh, that would have been funny as shit. I should have done that. So, are we prepared for the sacred rites?
Asger then brings in the non-infernal writing. Wow.
Which
That's a tab.
Ponige will dry off and clean off. She just kind of dusts it with fire and then knocks all the ash and mud off.
Thank you. He sets down the boulder and looks towards Buddy's other sons and says, "You may place them upon it."
And the taller one just lays down his brother and just watches. The blonde one also does the same, and they kind of just sigh and look back at them, try to look around for their dad, and they just wait.
Asger's following Dolly's lead.
She will she'll position them in a certain way so that their arms are folded on their chest, but she kind of plays the hands out in a certain way. And Ranger, Asger, you can know Clonnish without being angry, right?
Nope.
Nope? Okay.
No, I can. I just can't. Because it's not a written language. It's a spoken.
Somatic. Okay.
Yes, I can.
Alright.
I just can't read languages unless I'm mad.
Mm-hmm. So she will put their hands in the kind of like the hand sign for rest. And then she'll anoint their foreheads with paint and dot their noses with red. And then she will sit herself up to say a prayer over them. But she doesn't say it, she signs it.
During this portion, Asker's just kneeling in reverence with his head bowed.
And then she stops signing. And then she goes, "May she hear you." And then she steps away. Should I? I'm going to go get Buddy. I don't feel right letting this finish without him. Off she goes. Is everyone there?
Yeah, we're here.
Yarp.
Okay, tight. I go to get Buddy. Max, where you at?
Coughing. Hi.
Oh. How you doing?
Feel bad. Yeah, he's by a rock, just mulling over and kind of grumbling to himself. Checking out his hand because he punched that one dude.
Still? God, you're an old man. He'll be approached by Dolly, who, tells him what's what, then brings him back to the burial. It's only right that he gets to say goodbye.
Once they get there, he just looks at the new table and just looks at Asger and just, "This your work?"
Yes, it is.
I still don't understand how you did that.
Yeah, me neither. What? Wait, just before I say anything, are they covered? Are they just in the open? Like, are they, clothed? Or just have blankets on them? Or are they just naked?
Well, I think it would be hilarious if the latter was true. I feel like, a respect for the dead, they'd have them, covered with some sort of shroud.
Okay, because I was thinking they were naked. I was gonna make a joke, but... But he's just gonna look at them and kind of go into his pockets for some paint. Do respect your work, but they're missing their stars. And he just kind of just goes up to them to the side and just paints a similar star cheek on them, like his own. and looks at them and lets the sort of like the quiet rain just pitter patter on their bodies for a second and just covers them up again with the sort of shroud. And he just gets on his knees and in front of them just hits his head on the boulder. Wish I could have done more.
You did what you could. No one can ask for more.
And he stands and looks at his other sons. At least I have you two. I hope.
Yeah, Dad, you got us.
We should probably find something to eat and start our new lives.
Now, buddy, there's one thing that needs to be done. Do you remember why we walked all this way?
Ah, shit. And he just... Oh, hold on. Forgot some damn thing. And he walks up... Or he walks to the front, back again to the entrance of the town. He takes his sons with him, because why not? And for a while, he just starts drawing out a little circle on the floor. And sort of like the same star on his cheek, he just makes a symbol for teleportation. The same one he has at Tower Draw with all the other survivors. And for a second, he just starts making this teleportation circle and preparing it to bring the rest back to elsewhere.
Go ahead and cast teleportation circle.
Oh, I would if this motherfucker didn't forget it. God damn it. It's not on my spell list. God fucking. Ugh.
Milo, could you do me a favor and just cast it? And we'll just
Yeah.
say that, and we'll just say that
For
Buddy
sure.
did it.
Yes, Milo does it.
Click the thing.
With a little help from our fiends.
Get by with little help from our fiends.
I was singing that too.
Thank you for being a fiend.
Oh, that's good too.
Oh, I have to write all this.
got a
What?
fiend in me.
I gotta,
You've got a
You're my
fiend
best
in me.
fiend.
I gotta write all these down for Ash to call. It's the only thing the fiends. Egregious fiend wordplay. Okay, we're just gonna say, Buddy, you cast teleportation circle and you create a bind between Peller Drawl and elsewhere. Who wishes to enter into the portal and bring the neglected Clonns, who have been suffering for days in the remnants of a dead city, back home?
Buddy's gonna take his sons, just to pick up a few of the stragglers. Or the
Okay.
rest of them, I mean.
Does anyone else wish to come in?
Wallace is having kind of a weird moment. So he's just kind of skulk off like a kitty.
All right.
But
Asper-
Dolly's kind of interested.
Fine, Dolly, actually. He's gonna be like, poke you on the shoulder so that you can't leave and be like, I need to speak.
Oh, okay.
If anybody
You
else
need-
wants to go, they can go.
All right, who wishes to enter the portal and get back the Clonns? Who is going to go rescue the Clonns? Deathly silence. Okay, so Milo, Ponike, are we going to go help rescue the Clonns?
This seems like something Buddy wanted to spearhead.
All right then.
That was before his sons were dead.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah, kind of harshes the vibe a little bit.
And in the Clonns.
So, Buddy, I guess you're doing a little solo adventure. I need to desperately figure out where the hell I put... Oh, here we go. Okay. Buddy, you enter into the teleportation circle and find yourself back within the reassuring confines of Pallor Draw. Ahead of you, there is a large constituency of Clonns sheltered in the cool, away from the heat of the desert. And you see them light up when they see you and begin to feverishly sign at you. Ah, Savior, Salvation, Champion, thank you so much. They are ecstatic. How do you respond?
He kind of just gestures to them back in signing, just follow me. We found the place. There's more of us there, food, all the money you would want. Just walk over and we'll take you.
Okay. They sign at you, their faces light up, and they each go one by one through the teleportation circle. And one final Clonn, tall, lanky, wearing the remnants of a blacksmith's apron, a hammer worn thin with purpose. He opens his satchel and shows you 6 boxes within it, takes the satchel off of his back, and places it in your hands, and gives you a faint nod of thanks before stepping into the portal.
He kind of just looks at him weird, not really expecting any sort of like gift from all of this, and hands it off to one of his sons, not really looking at it yet, but waiting until all of the Clonns are back into elsewhere before looking.
The Clonn that handed you that satchel was the last one to walk through. You are now alone in Pallor Draw. The great remnants of this goblin citadel turned new national capital is now desolate and quiet. You and your sons are the only souls around.
He looks back and sort of remembers everything they went through to get there. And he sighs before slowly just walking back and forgetting all of it as they go back to elsewhere.
And you return back. The new Clonns are being put together, placed into their homes, divvied out magical items and loot and gold and whatever else they need to start themselves well here. Now, Dolly and Asger, I imagine there is a conversation you wish to have, and Ponike and Milo, think about what you would like to do after Asger and Dolly have their little scene. Alright?
Okay. Do you need to further dispose of them, or what is?
Well, there's a few things. First, I find it a bit uncouth that your brethren were so disrespectful.
Is this about him?
Yes, it is.
She inhales and exhales through her nose. Well, I agree with you.
You do?
Yes, I do. Tell me what's on your mind.
I I don't understand the hatred. I don't understand the disdain. I am a newly pronounced to myself. I am bringer of eternal rest and peace to souls, but I am also a being of war. And I have seen beings slay each other and slaughter each other, and yet their treatment of Silas is despicable.
Well, I agree, but please understand. It's one thing to come off of a tragedy and then shun your fellow clon man, pardon me. But we have lost many in this tragedy, and we have lost many more to the trickery of that mountain. Seeing his... I suppose he was disguising himself magically. An item wouldn't have worn off that quick, but seeing that drop, of course it would stun them. They thought he looked like one of them, and then he didn't. Wouldn't you be alarmed if one of your party, for instance, looked one way for a long time and then suddenly you found out they were completely different?
Interestingly enough, no, I wouldn't. But I don't think that is exactly a fair comparison, considering in that scenario, I have already built a bond with my party. And
It's not fair.
I understand the...
Do go on.
They're being disconcerted, but Silas is still one of them. He is still one of you. You cannot deny that just because he is this word you like to toss around and cause my friend such discomfort. You shun him,
What are you talking about?
twisted.
Is he?
That is what they said. That is what the others said.
Let's see. Please, has anyone tried to approach you about what that means?
That they have not.
Okay, good. Lady above, I'm glad you came to me. Before everything, I was... Look, Clonns aren't great. We aren't great at anything. That seems to be our curse. We are as good as we can be with any skill we pick up, any language we may learn, any dance we take the steps to. But we always fall short. We miss a vowel, we miss a nail, we miss a step. I was lucky. I was, and considering all things now, I still am considered the premier medical expert of the Clonnish world. One of the things that kept me from being further recognized was my advocacy for individuals labeled as such. I don't like to use the word if I can, but you must understand that word nearly means nothing.
I'm going to be honest, and that makes me even more angry.
It makes me angry too. I think people, my people, shun anything that doesn't stand out, I suppose, as Clonnish. You know, we are a happy people. We're happy to work, we're happy to sing, we're happy to play, happy to eat, we're happy to do anything. Except happy to fully express how we're feeling in any given situation. We may speak our minds, but I've met many people who have told me, for instance, him, and she'll point to the fellow that Buddy punched.
Hmm.
He has told me that, well, look, we were trying to put on this party just to make everyone feel like things weren't as bad as they are, and they are terrible. He told me he didn't want to go. I asked him why, and he told me point blank, loudly, that he hates parties. And then he looked ashamed for telling me that. Clowns think that anything that makes you not like the majority, not like parties, not like revelry, not like loud noises or focusing on many different tasks at once, it means you're not clownish. And to them, it shows signs of a real phenomenon. I know too much about this to just tell you about it. Please ask me something. Maybe I could. I don't know what to tell you. Please, ask me anything. Point me in a direction.
Told me quite a lot already. I am beginning to see the picture. It seems that the majority of your people like to keep the status quo, as it were.
Yes. Yes. You're understanding.
How is anyone ever meant to innovate, to progress, without challenging that status quo? Can they not see this?
I think they're afraid. They're afraid because to them, difference suggests danger. Do you know why they're called twisteds?
No, I do not.
Has the concept of a rubber soul ever been explained to you?
Somewhat, yes. I was attempted to.
It's hard to explain, even for someone like me, or even for the mirror. But the idea is our very essence can bend and nearly snap, be stretched out and wobbled back into place, and I think it's faith in our ability to bounce back from nearly every tragedy that befalls us. Our resiliency put to a scientific term. Some people take it literally, of course. I've heard of religious groups who focus on not twisting, and they call themselves the unbent because they believe whatever they believe. I'm sure they're gone now. It may be for the best. In any event, twists are called such because we think their very souls twist and change. I've only ever met one person who did succumb to it, and they very much were not themselves. They become violent, cruel, just terrible, terrible people. And that's no different for any race. I'm sure there's terrible people across all walks of life. That's life. There is terror, and there is beauty. But the worst part about twisting is that once you twist, you can't seem to unknot yourself. You're gone for good. Nothing short of a wish spell could fix it. Everyone thinks not being what you ought to be could lead to it. Only because we truly don't know what causes it. It's the fear that drives them.
Yeah. For them to use it so flippantly. I'm sure if you were to ask any your kind, personal, intimate questions, one way or another, every single one of them would have something that goes against the status quo.
Exactly. And she'll look at him with eyes that read like all the weight of the world is on her heart as she shares her terrible realization with him. All of them, everyone has something that someone else could consider twisted. No one likes to tell anyone about it because who do you tell? How can you tell someone? Asgard, you cannot understand how bad it was before this. Even now, with almost all of us dead, this is all we have left. And I'm ashamed to say we're almost better for it. You never saw the raids. You never saw the wagons. You did not see the evil that my people could harbor, with the intent of keeping themselves safe. They threw their brothers to the wind, to the wolves, and behind bars, because they thought they were too strange, or too dangerous, or possibly too dangerous. Their fear overtook them so severely they couldn't leave anything to chance. I'm ashamed to say, I'm almost happy this happened.
Huh.
I could teach them better. I could show them there's nothing wrong. But with this feud, everyone would be here to know it. I wouldn't have to go town to town as I did. Everyone could know it now. There's nothing wrong. And it took a near extinction for me to get the chance. And I'm almost happy for it. You know how terrible that is? How terrible it is to know you couldn't stop the darkest part of your people's legacy. You couldn't help anyone until there was almost no one left to help. I carry this with me now. And I can't tell anyone. Because if I tell them, they'll start to worry. I'm sorry.
Me. And
I'm sorry.
there is no need to apologize.
There is. I
You are
shouldn't
going
have
to,
let my feelings get the best of me in front of you. I'm sorry.
you are going to do what you can to fix ways that are broken within your people. It is all anyone could ever ask.
It's all I've ever tried to do.
Well, now you have the opportunity. Sad though it may be, you do have that opportunity. I hope you succeed.
God, so do I. Listen. I meant to tell you earlier, but the mirror needs to speak with all of you. But after seeing and hearing your works, I must caution you against them. They are very wise, and that is because they are very old, unnaturally so. I ask that, however hard it may be, if you can help it, please spare them. I know you don't like the dead, but we don't have much left. They know more than I ever could. So when you meet them, stay your hand. No matter how rude they may be. Will you promise me this?
I am one prone to blinding and incapacitating rages. I will do as best as I can to uphold that promise, yes. But unfortunately for myself, I have gotten away from my own consciousness a few times. So I cannot give you a 100% guarantee. But I have spent years learning about myself and about my abilities to try and temper that anger. So I will do my best. Now, unfortunately, I have one more thing I must ask of you.
Anything.
Angle was also brought back in the same manner. And I fear that he may also be torn between realms.
She puts her hand up for you to stop speaking. Please wait here. I'll fetch him.
He nods.
And she leaves the tent. And she comes back with a big lanky boy. In here. In here. Duck your head. Come here. All right. Do what you will.
Asger lays his hand upon Engel's head to kind of get a feel for what's going on. He wasn't paying attention, or he wasn't there the last time because I think he was fighting the dragon, or possibly just scouting the dragon, so he didn't see the ritual itself. No, instantly. So he's trying to figure out what's going on.
Hey, Ian, what's going on with our lanky boy?
Well, my apologies. I thought you were doing a little ritual thing. He
Not
comes
yet.
in.
He's just like specking so far to try and figure out what needs to be done.
Tangled is brought in, and he is dejected, distant, shorn from the usual joy or positive emotions that would be slackened across their face. Buddy, if you wish, you are more than welcome to voice this particular section if you would so choose.
I'm having a big coughing fit right now. I can't.
Yeah, Buddy's a little
Uh,
disposed right now.
Ryan, you want to take over? Ryan.
Ryan.
Just think of the episode where Buffy comes back to life and you have the complete emotional arc you need for this scene.
Well, I don't know much about Tangle. I don't know much about Buffy, but I do know the feeling of waking up from a perfect dream and realizing you have to go to school today.
Oh. That's it. Go for it.
Yeah, that's about perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll roll
So-
with it. Roll with it.
All
So
right.
good, Ryan.
So Asger will do his ritual to let you speak, and we'll go from there. So again, Asger brings out his spear, slams it into the ground, flips it vertically. The skull's eyes light up with this blackish, odd brightness, and the miasma flows from the scythe and into Tangled's mouth.
I guess at that, you just sort of like he breathes in kind of like breathing in the steam, the vapor of a tea in order to break one's sinuses, and he just
So, are we going back? Are you? I don't know what to do now. What should I do? Why am I back here? What are we doing? What do you want me to do here?
Asger will look to Dolly and say, "You should bring Buddy and Silas here. I haven't seen that boy in a while, but if they want any last, at least let them know."
Okay. Where did you see Nebelshoy last?
He ran off after, oh Lord, after the initial meeting, when everyone told us that we needed to see the mirror.
The hall met. I'm sure he's. I can tell him later. I know this can't wait. Pardon me. And she'll go and she'll fetch Silas and Buddy. Silas, when he gets brought over, oh, he's starting to dry out, man. He cries too much, so he just hugs Tangle, pulls away from him, and then gets like sad face and hugs him even tighter. Oh, gives him a big, big squeeze. And then he goes and he stands by the tent flap and kind of turns away so that he's at his side and covers his face and just mopes and boudes into his hand. Buddy, are you able? Or would you like me to? Max, can you talk? They must be coughing. Let me message them real quick.
Oh yeah, they can't. They're taking a little break right now, so you can just keep it going.
Okay. I feel like Buddy comes over. He's got his hat back on. He just said goodbye to his sons. In person this time. And seeing the knucklehead kid that he brought back, who he watched get crushed under a cave-in after stupidly going after a big shiny thing. And seeing him now, seeing him the way he saw his sons, all he can do is just go up to him, give him another sad cowboy pat on the arm, and then pull him in for one hug. And then he joins Silas, standing on the other side of the tent, and their tent is guarded by two sobbing soldiers.
Oh, thank God I'm muted.
There you go.
Hey, buddy,
Yeah, kid.
that thing I gave you, I hope you kept it. It looks pretty cool. I hope it helps you. But, if that's all, I'd like to head back.
Yeah, you go on. It's living right here. And he pats his pants pocket.
Good. I'm glad you guys made it. We were one hell of a team.
Yeah. You be safe, kid. I'll see you when I see you.
I'll definitely be safe where I'm going. You do the same. Same to you, Silas. Not bad for a twist. You're not bad. Not bad at all.
Thanks. I'm trying to be, at least.
Aren't we all?
Yeah.
Okay. So, how do we do this? Are you gonna stab me, or should I just?
Dolly will come to his side and just be like, "It won't hurt. Here. Stand there."
Okay. He just sort of stumbles over. He has the sea legs of someone who has yet to fully
reacquaint themselves with having a corporeal form, trips just slightly, stands unsteadily, and just waits eagerly, expectantly. Just the most innocent look on someone's face who's been someplace safer than safe. It's someone who's innocent on top of being someplace safer than safe. You can imagine he went to a good place, though. How nice he may have, and earnest he may have been.
It is time for you to return. Brisker waves his hand again, and the miasma slowly retreats from Tangle back into the skull on the side. And as it does, the mouth opens ever so slightly wider. The eyes change from black to gold. And a flash. Tangle lets out a tinted sigh as his body goes limp.
Falls to the
Dolly goes to catch it.
Good.
Oh, someone help. Someone help. He's heavier than I thought he would be. Help. Help. Help.
Fix him up.
Thank you. Buddy. In Buddy's pocket. The mirror is crying. Oh my god. 4 fucking people now. Shit. And I all sound like me. Alright. So Buddy hears sobbing coming from the mirror. Goes, what the fuck? Takes it out of his pocket. And from the mirror, you hear a voice go, do you have any idea what time it is? I wake up to this. This is terrible. That poor lanky boy. I hate waking up to things like this. Isn't the first time this has happened either. God, I hate it here. God. In any event, you, beefy one.
I am assuming you're speaking to me.
Yes, I am. I asked
Yes.
before. I'm asking again. Come to my carriage. The sun is setting. I can see you soon. Hurry.
Oh, I understand now. Okay, I'll get everyone else.
Dolly goes and like shoulders the load of the dead dude and goes, I'll take care of this. Just help me get him onto the table.
Oh, absolutely. He
Thank you.
places Tangled up on the table.
All right. It's a little towards the back of the camp. Just go down the main street. Oh, we should look at Silas and just walk around the perimeter. You'll run into it eventually. They're coming, she says to the hand mirror, and the mirror goes, I know. Don't tell me things I know.
Now, who wishes to follow the call of the mirror?
Actually, where
Yeah, aren't we all supposed to go there?
where are
Yes.
Milo and Ponike during all of this?
While all this is happening, Ponike probably skulked off back to the gazebo and began looking, yet again, pulling the sack out of her bag, carefully unwrapping it, making sure to hold the orbs, with making sure to keep the barrier of cloth between her and the orbs, and just kind of examining them, seeing if she could see anything in them, seeing if there's anything
Roll Arcana.
innate about them.
Roll Arcana. And Milo, my good fiend, what are you up to during these trying times? These orbs are Rizian ice. They will never melt. You get the feeling that properly attuned and in the hands of someone with the spell Plane Shift, these can serve as anchors to bring you to Rizia.
Tight. She'll satchel them up, tie them up, put them back in her bag. Make a note of it.
Now, Milo, what are you doing, Milo?
Milo's just kind of taking it all in, and he's kind of preoccupied. Like, a lot of very intense stuff is happening, but he seems to be somewhere else.
Intriguing.
He's got home on his brain.
All right. Now, a lot of you traipse your way to the north end of camp, where... Alright, go ahead.
Asger stops off at the rock and reads it.
Ah! The rock is an infernal. You're going to just read infernal? On a rock?
I'm not out loud. No soy estupido.
Give me an investigation check with advantage.
Okay. Work.
Ah, look at you. The rock tells the history of the dragon that was interred here. The dragon guarded Maspheric, an overlord known as the Cold Sun. Maspheric drew its power from the lizard folk in the area. And you reached a conclusion, based on the writing and what have you, that the thing that happened caused Maspheric, and subsequently the dragon, Rashak, to be weakened and rendered mortal. The overlord withered away, and all that was left was the corrupted remnants of a once glorious champion, sent here eons ago to guard the creature, but it succumbed to his corruption. He could not leave the volcano, but he can certainly tempt people into his foul corruption. The stone continues on further, detailing that the dragon Rashak used to be a righteous paladin sent from Argonessen to guard against this creature's emergence, but the centuries, the millennia, tens upon tens of thousands of years wore it down. And it shall remain here until it is slain, but only when the lizard folk are gone. And lo and behold, you inadvertently did that. You rid the world of two evils.
When you accidentally finish a plot point and then you go into the town that's right next to the plot point and get all the lore that was supposed to lead you to the plot point.
Mm.
Yeah.
And you're just
It's
there
it's like setting your house on fire. Well, at least we don't have a spider infestation anymore.
Yeah, that dragon fight, you were originally going to have to literally commit genocide, otherwise you would be incapable of killing it. Because it would...
we inadvertently
We
did.
did!
Yeah, you did it. What it did was it would regenerate basically 5d 100 health around as long as lizard folk existed in Kabara, but you killed all of them. So,
Oops.
yep, oops. Whoops. Did it oopsie. So anyway, let's wrap up with this next particular section. It's what I kind of consider the swan song for the Clonn arc. And let me take it from the top. You go
the Clonns song.
The Clonn song. Yes, you're very
Clonn
funny.
song!
Now, you go to the edge. Oh my God. Oh, You go to the edge of town, and there, settled under a very large, twisted tree of jungle, you see a beautiful carriage made of dark ebon wood with silver filigree, tinted windows, thick, velvety drapes in the interior of the windows, and 4 large, beautiful brass lanterns upon the side of it. And in the front of it, you see horses idly munching on the grass, resting in the shade of the tree. There is a few placards and other things all around it. The carriage is quite beautiful. Is there anything we wish to do before knocking on the carriage door to alert yourself as to the mirror?
I pet the horsey.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and roll perception.
Go ahead.
2 different kinds of D&D players.
Wow. As you're examining the carriage, Ponike, you notice that the ornamentation on it is quite beautiful, but there is only one thing that indicates where it is from. There is a small brass placard tucked underneath one of the doors that says, "Made proudly in Kresk."
See, where the fuck is Kresk again?
Now, Silas, do you wish to knock on the door? Milo, Asger, Ponike, who wishes to knock on the door and be greeted by the mirror?
You know what? Milo hasn't gotten to do much. Silas says it out loud. You know what? You haven't gotten to do much today. Why don't you take this over?
Sure. He does it.
I do it.
Alright, take it away, Mags.
Okay. As soon as you touch Knuckle, that door is kicked open. And sitting inside is everyone's least favorite vampire, Pavarotti of Heavensong. Finally!
Oh,
Do you
what
know
is
how
this?
long I've been waiting
Crossover episode?
early for this? It is. Oh, goodness. Anyways, okay, thank you all for joining me. Oh, I'm so sick.
God damn it! I have been searching the fucking Eberron map for the past 5
Yeah,
minutes looking
Kresk
for
is in
Kresk,
Barovia.
forgetting that
Yeah.
Kresk is in Barovia.
That's so funny.
Okay. Take it from the top, Pavarotti.
Good thing. Kick the door open. Finally! I woke up early for this. I've been waiting for 1 hour! But here you are now. Bring to me the accused.
What's
We
that?
all step
Bring him.
forward.
Oh. No, the one that matters. That one! And she'll point at Silas. Me? Yes! Oh. Okay. And he'll step forward. Closer. Closer. Yeah, too close. Thank you. And she'll like stick like a long leg out and just push him back a foot with a dainty boot. Oh, you look familiar. Oh. Once again, the stupidity of the living have thrown into my lap a responsibility that a creature such as myself should not have to bear. And yet I muscle through it. Why? Answer me why! To all of you.
I don't understand you.
I don't understand either.
Of course you don't understand.
I assume
Well,
because
you
you
might.
want to.
No, because I have to. None of these poor saps know anything about themselves without me. Look at it! Look! And she'll gesture to the jungle, and she'll go, "Jungle! You know where I lived? I lived in a house, and now I have to piss in grass like a dog. All because of whatever went on. And now the rest of them have to do it too, and I have to do it with them. Do you know how demeaning that is? Do you know how terrible it is that I can't hide myself away in more than one room at a time? It's enough to make me nuts. It's enough to make me twist. I would if I wasn't so steel-willed. In any event, I must do my duty as whatever they've made me. The Elder, the Mirror. Ugh, what a stupid trick that is. They did it on purpose, you know. It's because they can't see me. I don't have a reflection, and they thought it would be funny.
Lay down.
Pavarotti lays down.
God, was that you?
Sorry, that was Laura.
Who's this mysterious NPC ordering around this power?
Emerging from the aether comes a whisper of a god.
I don't know why, but instinctually I'm laying down out of fear.
Milo catches on and goes, fetch.
And Pavarotti sits back up and goes, "Shut up. It wasn't always like this. I used to be an adventurer too. Can you believe that?"
Let me guess, you got an arrow in your knee.
Stupid man thing. No!
Let me guess.
We won.
Let me take a guess. You got a sunburn.
Pavarotti, their jaw hangs open and they just look at you with such contempt. You know who you remind me of?
Can't say
Have
I
you?
do.
No, you wouldn't, would you? Have you ever heard tell of Rod von Zerovich? I think that's the name, I can't remember.
I've been alive.
That's exactly it.
Reese, I've been alive a very long time, and I've never heard that name.
Mm-hmm. Well, you won't hear of it anymore because of me. And the others, of course. There was, who? Leonin. Oh, Leonin. Holy simple fool. He was a good man. And there was Lucille. I hope she's well. She was always the prettiest one. Prettier than me, even. I couldn't stand her. And then little Juniper. I think he's dead. I hope he's not. And Drac Honeyfinger, who had the worst name I've ever met. And I have to live with people named Honey and Buns, and Ian makes laws. But do you know why you remind me of that one?
Pray tell.
Because he made stupid jokes, just like that. Do you know why you hadn't heard of him until now?
And why is that?
Because I killed him for making stupid jokes like that. So hold your tongue.
Ha ha ha! Now that's funny. Ha ha!
She kind of just. There's like a spark. You could see like a spark in her irises amongst the pitch black sclera, and she just kind of smirks and just uses her mantle of flame ability to just glow, to just make herself glow brightly.
Pavarotti grimaces and puts sunglasses on, then continues. Where was I? Oh, yes. Your sentencing, white boy. It has come to my attention that you are different, aren't you? That hair didn't give it away. Those legs will. The eyes, the tail. I'm sure you weren't born with them, but they're yours now. But you can put as much paint as you want on a pig, but underneath, it is still a pig. Underneath all these cosmetic additions and minor curses, you're still a Clonn. As much as you want to be, or as much as you'd rather not be. Seems you need to remember where you came from. Thus, and they turn around and pick up a book and slam it on the ground. It's not that big. They're just dramatic. And they point to that book and they say, pick that up. Okay. Silas picks it up. In that is what I can remember of the entire history of the Clonnish race. I can't stand thinking about it or looking at it. So, I think it would be funny if you took the mantle for a change. You might learn something. You might not. But at least, I can start looking for a new bed rest. Of course, I'll need new places to put my water cups now. But I'll power through it. As you will. Take this with you, Silas the Piper. Add to it if you like. But you needn't look forward for now. Instead, I need you to look back. By looking back, if you happen to find a certain red velvet cloak with my name engraved in it, let me know. I get cold at night, and I miss it, and I feel its absence heavy. What were you saying before?
Nothing, just clearing my throat.
I don't believe you.
Well, that is too bad.
I like you. Don't take it personally. Anyways, I do still, out of character, I do still have that cloak, don't I, on Silas?
Yeah, you never took it off. Like, there's maybe even the name tag is sticking out and it says Pavarotti on it.
So the whole time they were saying, if you could look back and maybe get more cloak, he's just wearing it and not getting it, and then finally goes, oh, shit! And he unclasps it and just throws it at them. It lands on their head, and when it hits those big horns of hair, the hair doesn't fall down. Almost like it's horns, but it might just be hair sprayed to death. So, Pavarotti has their cloak back now. And once they get it, they pull it off their head, glare, and then they turn to the cloak and go, I missed you! Come here! And then they, like, lift their legs up and, like, tuck and roll, and once they roll back into the cart, the door shuts behind them. Cameo ended.
Silas, what in the fuck was that?
I don't fucking know! Do we all see that?
I am not sure if I am currently conscious or... Milo, did you slip us something?
Yeah, do you know them? They look old as shit.
No. I'm just as baffled as you all are.
Okay, well, if he doesn't get it, then I don't feel bad at all. But can somebody touch that book before me? I don't want to get, like, my hand bit off. I don't know what the fuck that could be.
Ponike pulls out a piece of canvas and hands it to you.
Thank you.
Also, can Ponike see anything inside of the, see any objects through the window?
No, their curtains are drawn tight.
Ah, okay, well then I'm gonna cast it on the curtains.
What are you
Oh
gonna
boy,
do?
thank you. What are you doing?
I subtle spell the light cantrip on all of their curtains.
One by one.
You hear suddenly. Oh, it didn't all pick up. Fuck. Oh well. You hear a scream.
I'll just I'll slowly walk around the thing, just casting light on all of the curtains.
Did you do any damage to vampires, or does it just bum them out?
No.
That light doesn't produce enough. It doesn't actually.
It's not sunlight. It's just like a really. It's just a really. Your curtains, which were blocking out the light, are now producing light.
Oh my God.
Doesn't like people who insult her and her friends.
I wish I could make him come back up, but I don't want to take up any more time. But okay, well, let me think about what I could do. You do hear like screaming, but like not people screaming, and it kind of sucks to hear it.
That's
Let's see.
wickedly unpleasant.
But in the meantime, Silas will pick up the book like he's picking up a bug with a paper towel. I think it's just a book. Okay. Does anyone? I remember bits and bobs, but I got carry a book around. And that's, man, that weird bitch couldn't have had me like dig a hole or something. Like, fuck. What the hell's this for?
The only thing I understood of that entire conversation was that's the history of your people.
Well, guess I gotta do some reading. Yay. That's exactly what I'm famous for. Sitting down and not doing anything for long periods of time. Wait, I sleep every night. This isn't a good joke. Fuck. Hey, Panike.
Yeah.
Are you, look, maybe you shouldn't, I want to say, the door opens again, and Pavarotti is like, they've got the cloak on now, but, they look directly at Panike, and they point with a straight, mean finger, and they go, "You." Hey, can you make me?
She'll look behind her. She'll look behind her as if like looking to behind. Yeah, exactly.
All right, Panike, make a wisdom saving throw.
Gross. Gross.
What'd you get?
Oh. Okay. Pavarotti just kicked down the door, threw on their item that boosts their spell save DC by a fuck ton. So, you just had weird cast on you. I need you to explain what deep fear is conjured in your mind.
Oh fuck. You point at her, and she kind of does the who me thing, and she looks behind her, and when she looks back, everything is desolate. You three lay dead at her feet, the wagon is aflame, burnt to a crisp. Pavarotti is laid dead. She
Not the
looks
wagon.
out. Yeah, the wagon. The wagon is burnt to a crisp. Pavarotti is dead, like strung up on one of the frames. Just a crispy old little lady. And she kind of begins walking, and it's like the scene in 28 Days when he's like walking across the bridge, and she just begins walking through Clonton of just ashes, piles of ash, and melting bodies, and bones, and burnt down houses. And she looks down to see Buddy at her feet, and Buddy just kind of looks up at her, and with his dying breath goes, "You promised," as he inhales a puff of smoke and embers, and he dies at her feet, and for as far as she can see, just lays waste in turmoil. And she realizes that her worst fear has come true. She's back to being a monster.
As Ponike walks away, Asger's going to flick Thread Sever very quickly next to Pavarotti's head and go, "I recommend stopping that. I understand she tormented you, but you were rather rude. I recommend stopping."
I'm afraid this will last for at least 40 more seconds. I may have tormented her, but I didn't conjure buckets of water, did I?
No, that
I
wouldn't have done
teased.
anything. It would have just turned into smoke.
Beef! I am speaking, boy.
I don't appreciate being called beef. Thank you.
I don't care.
I like how you're fine with the boy part, but the beef part, you draw the line.
I'm beefcake, not beef boy.
Get it fucking straight, old lady.
I'm a beef man.
Get with it, Gramps. But yeah, Pavarotti will go, I may be cranky, but I don't make people think they're going to die, do I? You know how much fun it is for me to think, so long it's in all evidence, that sunlight is pouring into the only safe place I have left in this ashtray of a life. It's not pleasant. She'll be fine. She'll endure as long as I did. I think that's only fair. Wouldn't you say?
If it does not end soon, I say we'll find out.
And what will you do then? If I'm dispatched, and the people have nothing else to turn to, besides a burnt book and a weeping boy, what then?
Oh, I wasn't going to kill you. You misunderstand my intention.
Oh, explain then.
There are much worse fates than death.
I know. I'm living it. 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2. All better. That wasn't so hard, now was it? And she will look to Panike, who has now stopped shuffling, I guess, in their fugue state. But the minute has passed, and Weird is over.
Ponike is like, she may have wandered off like 20 feet, and is just like on her knees sobbing.
Must have been bad. Well, go on there, good friend. You were so concerned. Go comfort her. It's not my job.
Asgard turns
I just tell
heel,
people what to do.
and as he turns, he brings his scythe in very quickly, like you would almost a flagstaff, and just gut checks the shit out of Pavarotti as he walks away.
Dead. Instant death.
And instant death. Oh, and you know what? Oh, they're a singer. You son of a bitch. I'm a singer.
Oh, I know. And he walks over to Pony King.
Pavarotti will remember this.
The menacing pecs that you always see in video.
Nice. All right. We are in the tail end of the session. I believe that we can open up and kind of present the next entry in our great foray into the wilds. At present, technically we can still say goodbye, but Buddy's a bit indisposed.
I'm right here.
Now,
You all right?
Buddy,
Hey, you're back.
do you wish to say goodbye to these strange creatures before they depart? And one quick thing, strange creatures, what the hell are you doing next? Are you returning to Paladral? Are you going to Ashtakala? What is the option here?
Let's go fuck up Ashtakala. Yeah, get high on some demon drugs.
I want to get on that Milo arc, man. I'm sick of Silas.
Trust me, we're all sick of Silas as well.
Oh no.
That's
Oh,
a joke.
no.
I'm so sorry. That's
No, that came out really mean.
I love you, Mags. Mags.
I
No,
love you.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I remember
Only
how
Silas
much.
only Silas can shit talk Silas in this household.
Yes.
Oh no, Pavarotti can do it, but only because Pavarotti is really mean and saying anything.
Oh man,
is-
I
so nice
forgot.
to see Pavarotti.
I forgot
Fucking
how.
miss Pavarotti.
I forgot how fucking snarky Pavarotti's ass was. So anyway, so quick thing. You can technically go there via plane shift. Milo can just do that. Your ship can be repaired at Paladral. What do we want to do? Do we want to go to Paladral and repair the ship and then go to Ashtakala, or do we want to directly go to Ashtakala?
No, you know what? Myself, I think the plane shift option would be cool, but I'm starting to miss that ship, and I think it would be cool if we had some kind of home base. It was Paladral, but now that's all shit. So it'd be cool if we had the boat with us.
There's still the cave that can operate as home base.
You can
That's
repair
true.
the
That
ship
too,
and then
but,
bring
like-
it to the cave.
Yeah, I just like to have something we can fall back on. Like, you know, you can't outrun a lion, but you can get in a car and drive away from it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just I'd like to have the boat. It would make me feel safer if we
Right.
had the boat.
Quick montage. Fix boat, take the cave, yeet out of cave into Ashtakala. Boom.
See that what always gets you is the second lion that's hiding in the back seat of your car.
Then who has fallen? So,
God damn it! No. What really gets you is once you push that guy out of the way, the cop that pulls you over and then takes his shades off, and it's a lion, and he's
that's so stupid. I love it. So
All
anyway,
cops are lions.
so do we want to go to Ashtakala
Hey, Cal.
and repair the ship?
that's
But
my vote at least.
Go to Ashtakala and repair the. Wait, no.
I mean, go
repair
to
the ship
Paladral and
and-
then, yeah.
Oh, yes. Repair quickly, then go to cave with ship, then go to Ashtakala.
Okay.
Oof.
Buddy, you are more than welcome. I imagine the gang is getting ready to enter the teleportation circle and depart. Buddy, would you like to say some parting words?
Yeah, he watches them go up and get themselves ready. Then he just crosses his arms and just wait for them to sort of almost head out. And he speaks up. Wherever you're going, don't forget about what happened with all of us. And just want to let you know that I'm grateful for the help that you've given us and my folks. And there's no hard feelings. I just guess I wasn't ready. And he takes his hat off, kind of dusts it off a little bit, and he hands it off to Silas.
Silas will take it and
It's a +3 magic helm of the Archman guy.
I actually was going to make it a hat of vermin because I think it'd be funny if it just spawned rats, but go ahead.
it's just a bunch of rats following him going, "Hey, sick hat, wow." Silas will take it and look at Buddy like he's a kid who got told all December that they were out of his favorite toy. They weren't going to be able to afford it. And then that morning, they hand it to him, and he can't speak, but he doesn't have to. And he turns the hat around and he puts it on like a true cowboy. His eyes. And he smiles at Buddy.
He smiles back down and kind of just playfully punches him on the chin. Don't let
Makes
your friend
Silas
burn
grin.
that. Don't let your friend burn that.
Oh, if she burns this, we're gonna have some words.
Yeah, I bet.
Hey, keep an eye on that Horn of Plenty, okay? Please, keep it safe. That's for y'all now.
Thank you kindly. And he sort of nods.
Alright.
Be safe out
Well, you
there.
first.
It's too bad you couldn't meet the boys. They would have liked you.
I might see him someday.
Let's hope not too soon.
Ooh.
Yeah. Well, he walks to the portal and turns around, tips his hat to Buddy, and then he walks through.
Who wishes to say goodbye next? Perhaps Buddy's favorite person, Milo.
Milo. Yeah. No, yeah. Milo will step forward and say, Buddy, you were of great help to us. And just moving forward, remember, you can't truly bring back what's lost. It's a hard lesson, but the future is always all there is.
I'll try to not do that again. Don't want to punch any more of these fellas out here if they try to narc on me for it.
You did good, buddy. Punching that guy as well, in addition to all the other stuff.
And he takes out his hand, just waiting to shake yours.
Milo hesitates, but then reaches forward and grabs it.
And with one just strong shake, You take care.
You as well.
Who dares go next?
I will. So, Bunike steps up to the edge of the portal. She kind of is scratching the back of her head, and she looks at Buddy, and she goes, sorry for, blowing you up again.
It was sort of a wake-up call for me. So I ain't mad.
And also, sorry for, destroying your town.
Let's just try to forget that one.
Cool. Well, as we've said before, you know, we'll call you if we need a powerful mage.
Try not to get other people mad.
Trust me, no matter how hard I try, I always find to piss people off, even if I'm trying not to.
I know. Any sort of laughs.
It's a skill, both a blessing and a curse.
Mm-hmm.
And she gives like a kind of like a pained smile, and like she doesn't really know how to do the whole human interaction thing super well, so she just kind of gives you a thumbs up and steps into the portal.
He just shakes his head and smiles. Just
Asger, my dear.
She's an odd bird, that one.
yep.
A few things. One, and he flips his side upside down to where you can see the skull again. And he looks at you and he says, if you trust me, I would like for you to look in the eyes.
This isn't gonna kill me, is it?
Absolutely not.
He hesitates for a moment. And then just slowly leans in.
For the briefest of moments, because that's all he can muster, you see the boys. You see them in paradise.
Ooh.
Happy, playing with their mother, running around, singing, dancing. Whatever their favorite activities might be, you see a quick little montage of them just perfectly happy and content. And everything fades black, and you're back.
Lady above, what was that? You can just do that?
Not always. They were recent enough that, well, they were recent enough and you have a strong enough bond with them. Their souls are partially attached to yours, after all. And that's all I could give you. I could never show anything else to you, but I figured I took them from you again, and I am sorry for that, but I wanted you to at least know they are happy.
It's nothing to be sorry about. Just looking at them almost makes me want to follow with them. Then I'd have 2 boys here. All alone.
Yes. Well, and I'm sure your people will need someone of your caliber in the future as well.
Yeah, if they don't try to kill me. You see that guy?
That I did. That was a rather good hit. I believe Dolly will take care of all of that for you. She is a good one. They are a good one, sorry. And just stay as safe as you can. And if you see Nebelshoi again, let him know I was serious when I said I will die trying to restore that balance. That is what it takes.
I was just about to ask you the same thing. See that little critter? Tell him we're waiting for him.
You. He reaches his hand forward.
Then he shakes.
As
See
he
you around.
kinda- he smiles and nods. Sooner rather than later, I hope. And he turns and walks through.
Asger, can you make me a perception check?
Oh, jeez.
There's a fly going in with you. Oh
Oh my god, a perfectly ordinary fly. Cue roll initiative.
And we're all dead.
no! Oh, I was thinking more Goldblum route, but that's fun too.
You said perception. Garbage. Garbo,
Oof,
11.
Thank God.
No, it's fine. Nebelshoi, go ahead and tell him what he sees.
Nothing in particular. It's a jungle. You hear a lot of sounds. You hear a lot of see a lot of things.
It's a jungle out there. Do-do-do-do-do.
But if anything, you just the slightest glint of something that isn't leaf or water. Just the slightest glint of metal and a rustle. And well, depending. Let's see, what did you get? Let's see. That's 16.
Yeah. Not great, but not
great. Not great. Yeah.
Bro,
you could treat it as
you're a
16.
little quiet.
You're coming a little quiet.
Little quiet.
Okay.
I do not want to miss this.
Well, beyond that, just the glint of metal and a rustle. And just the feeling of being watched by something with sobering intent. Yeah, I suppose you would possibly get that. Just the difference between something watching you and something on the cusp of hunting you. You just feel a prickle down your spine of something like that, and a rustle, and before you know it, it's gone.
What do you do, Asger?
How far off was that?
Far off enough that it was just a flicker of a fraction of a moment, and it's gone now. You could feel it was in the area, but couldn't feel in particular where it was coming from. But it was small.
Okay.
You step through.
Gonna roll. Let's see. Let's see if this is any good. No! Never mind. He doesn't remember what they look like. All right. So instead of what he was going to do, because I wanted to play that out correctly, um, he's going to. He's going to cast Minor Illusion into Red Sever and throw it into with no like intent to harm anything, just kind of like let it soar and like tink to the floor, kind of in the general area where he thinks you were at. He's not exactly accurate, but a small image of a scale, perfectly balanced, pops out of the spear as it hits the ground, with the words promise on one side, kept on the other, keeping it perfectly balanced. Then he snaps his fingers, Red Sever flies back to him, and he walks through the portal.
Huh, I love it. Well, before we go into the next tiny little micro montage section.
No, I gotta go to bed.
Okay,
No
well,
more.
what do you we have to say goodbye though to Max and Ryan though. Like, it's like we closed out the
I'm
corner.
okay. Yeah, I'm okay with giving like an out of character goodbye, but no more in character stuff.
Okay, quick little thing. You enter into the portal, and you have all returned to Power Draw. And that is the close for the session. I'm going to leave the recording up a little bit so we can get the farewell on the record. Congrats! We finished the Clonn arc!
Woo!
Clonn arc.
It's been a wild goddamn ride. It's taken on a life of its own. Max and Ryan have really just been uber menches when it comes to delivering the quality week after week after week. I think everyone has really risen to a new caliber of characterization over the past month and a half or so. It's been wonderful.
Yeah.
Been a pleasure.
Hot Clonn summer.
Hot
Clonn summer.
I love that you guys were able to do this. I know it took longer than I thought it would, but damn. Thank y'all for coming on. I appreciated being able to play with you.
Thanks for
of course.
guest starring in this thing, in this crazy thing.
Yeah, it was an absolute goddamn pleasure. And you're welcome to chime in and give your colorful commentary anytime you like. And the rest of the gang, the Ashtakala arc is basically happening next session, so I don't really need your curse too much. But if you want some stupid fiend crap to happen, you're more than welcome. I know we have ideas. You're more than welcome to run it past me. Good luck and good night, everybody. It's been a pleasure. Goodbye, Ryan and Max, and their exquisite performances. And I will be catching you all on, this is extremely convenient, the 21st, because Wednesday lands on 7 days this month. So we will be returning on the 21st, and I'll be seeing you all then.
Excellent.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, bye, everybody.
Do.
Later, bye.